Now, all right. Welcome to our team call, you guys. Thank you so much for taking time to get on. Seriously, I know it's a sacrifice to be away from your family at night. That's why I try to do these as little as possible. But I also think it's so powerful for us to get face-to-face time and to be able to just see each other and know that we're in the trenches with other people. Because sometimes when you're on your phone or behind the computer and you're like, is this even real? Is this even a real thing? Like, can this really be a job? I'm just doing this by myself. You're not doing it by yourself. You have a whole empire of women that are doing it with you. So I think it's cool to get on and to see each other's faces. So thank you for being here. I'm just gonna chat first about some of the things that are going on this month. Obviously, we've still got MM100, like, to leverage in a huge way. And the more that I thought about it, how I was going to roll it out over the 100 days, just keep it simple, you guys. Don't overcomplicate it. I created a prep doc that I can share in all of the threads. I just actually tweaked it because I shared it in my Emerald pod, and then I was like, crap, it still had like my new coach or new challenger sequence and stuff that isn't applicable to you guys. So I copied it, made it so it's totally usable for any of you guys so that you don't have that roadblock. So whenever you have someone that wants to get started right now, in a week, in 10 days, in 2 months, it doesn't matter. You can send them this prep doc. It's just a Google Doc that has like the most important prep posts that they need before they get into the group. And then they just get access to the group, plug right in, start logging their stuff, start tracking their progress. And it's easy. It doesn't matter if they're on the same day. It doesn't matter if they're on the same workout. It's the energy and the community and that support that we want them to have. And so don't feel like you have to go create a new group every 2 weeks and whatever and overcomplicate the situation. Like, just simplify. Okay. So I will get that out to the threads probably tonight if I remember, maybe tomorrow if I forget. So someone remind me if I forget to do that, because that was the one roadblock that was standing in my way. Was like, oh crap, now how do I like get them plugged in without it being overwhelming and being weird? And so I just got it done yesterday, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Now I can go send all the invites and share this incredible program with as many people as I can. So that is that. We all have new promo codes. If you're an active coach, you would have gotten your promo codes already in your email. If you haven't seen those come through, check your junk mail, because lots of times they get filtered through there. And if you're not an active coach and you didn't get those yet, get active. If you get active with 50 PV by, is today Tuesday? By tomorrow, then that will make you eligible for the August promo codes, and you can get those for this month. So $10 off any pack over $140. So you can't use them for completion packs, but you can use them for any of the full 160 or above packs. So that's a really rad opportunity that we have to really just make it exclusive and give them to our girls that are ready to get going. I think those are the only things I wanted to talk about. One more thing, and I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about some of her content, because it's just been what I've been like learning and studying. So you guys probably saw me post about that Pays to Be Brave conference that's going on in San Diego in October. I've been chatting with Angie, the girl that's putting it on. If you don't know her podcast, you guys, write this down and go listen. I think, what is it called? The Angie Lee Show, I think is what her podcast name is. And so good, you guys. She's like, and why I love her is because I feel like one of our biggest roadblocks as coaches is most of us get into this because we want to help people, right? We want to help people feel good. We have a passion for sharing this gift, but a lot of us, I'm not one of them, but a lot of you guys feel bad for making money for helping people. You have this little limiting belief in the back of your head that goes, it's kind of weird that you're making money for helping people because it's a good thing, but then it all of a sudden kind of turns bad because you're making money doing it, where that's complete garbage, because a lot of people make a lot of money doing really bad things. So why is that okay? Right? Like, it's just stupid, the things that we create in our brains. So anyways, her big thing is she's all about sales strategies, marketing, branding. Like, she's the skill set behind what we need to do as coaches. So we lead with our heart. We have these incredible solutions. We have these tools to literally change lives. But if you can't close a sale, then good luck changing lives. If you can't learn how to follow up, then good luck getting the solution in your customer's hands. Like, these are skill sets, you guys, that we have to master. And while it's not something that, like, it's not in the training, it's not in the things, because in my brain, I'm like, well, if you lead with confidence and you share your results, that does the selling for us. But what I'm learning as a leader is that's not enough. That's not enough. We have to buckle down and actually treat this business like a business and develop our skills. And part of our skills is going to be selling, is going to be marketing ourselves, branding ourselves, learning how to speak to our target audience, learning how to get them to trust us. And so I've been listening to her podcast ever since I decided I was going to go to her event. I was just chatting with her today, and she's going to do a call for us. I think next week she's going to do a call for our team, and then she's going to give us a discount code for her event for any of you guys that want to come to. And I'm so pumped. Like, she's just so real, so I have a major crush on her. So that's great. But she's just awesome. So if you guys don't listen to her yet, go listen to it, because she has so much value. She swears sometimes, and she's a little bit, like, I think all of her podcasts probably have an E by it for explicit. So don't listen to it with like your toddlers around. But for the most part, it's pretty clean. But she throws stuff in there every once in a while, but so good. And so one of the ones I was listening to, and this is kind of what got me thinking about what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, was on the fact that she calls it schmarketing. She calls sales and marketing is schmarketing. And that's what we do. We have to learn how to sell, and we have to learn how to market ourselves and our journey and the products that we're using to change our lives. And she says that sales start with trust. So when you, and we all know this, right? So when you go to post, and initially when I was like, well, what do I want to talk to them tonight? I wanted to just talk about posting. I wanted to talk about building relationships, because that is the bread and butter around what we do. Everything we do in our business is based around trust. And so when you go to post, I feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves with, okay, well, how many likes would this get? And how many comments would this get? And whatever, where that's important, yes, because we want engagement. But we truly, when we come to the table and we come to post on our social, it needs to be, what does my audience need? How is this going to speak to them? How can I serve them? And when you get on that level, that's when people start to connect. That's when people start to engage. And she says that you want to get to a place where you get so good at storytelling and content creation that every single time someone is reading your post, and not every single person every single time, but you want a group of individuals every time when they're reading your post to go, oh, me too. Me too. Because when they go, me too, they go, okay, now I relate to you, and now I trust you, because we're on the same level and we're on the same playing field. And if you can get to that place, that's when they start to listen. That's when they start to engage, because now you're a normal human. You're not just some fantasy public figure on Instagram that they're like watching, right? I feel like so many people just watch what's going on Instagram, and we want people to feel like they can reach out. And so that's what I really wanted to I want you guys to be purposeful going forward And be mindful that our number one focus, you guys, and the majority of the time we spend building our business is on building relationships. So when you go to craft your post and when you go to share something, I want you guys to come to the table with what are my people? What do they need? What are they going to be drawn to? What are they going to engage on? Like, for instance, I'm trying to think of some examples. Obviously, like infertility. If you struggle with infertility, if that's like part of your life, that's something I would frequently talk about. I would bring that to the table a lot because that's such a common thing that many people don't talk about, and women need support. And if they feel like you're their go-to and they can relate to you because of that, they're going to trust you. And when they trust you, they're going to buy from you. And you're not putting all the stuff out there just so they buy from you. That's just the nature of how humans are. They like you, they trust you, they buy from you, they work with you, right? That's just how it goes. What, do you need something? Oh, Johnny's staring at you. Haley. And so I want you guys to each think about, what can I bring to the table that will help me just relate to people, that will help me connect with the women that I want to help. So for instance, one of the trials, and trials, you guys, are, you never want to air your dirty laundry, but trials are such, it's just we have so much to learn from our own trials that then if we don't share what we've learned, I feel like we're doing ourselves and others a disservice. JD and I, you guys probably know, we went through a really hard time in our marriage. And while it sucked really, really, really bad, I learned so much about it, from it. And I learned so much about myself and so much about our marriage and relationships and going through a struggle. And if I didn't ever talk about that, and you don't have to go into details and whatever, that's not the point. If people come to my page today, they go, oh, she has the perfect marriage. Her husband works out with her. My husband would never do that. Her husband does this. My husband would never do that. They're just so happy all the time. And that's not real. That's not what the situation is. And that's not what is really going on. So every once in a while, I bring it back and I let them know we have been through struggles. We have been on the brink of divorce. We have been whatever. But what you see now is because we've worked at it and we've put forth effort and we blah, blah, blah. And every single time I post about something like that, I get women flooding my inbox going, holy crap, that is exactly what I needed to hear today. Thank you for sharing that. Like, I look up to you guys so much and I always just thought you guys had it all together. It just was comforting to know that you've struggled too. And it's those little things that you've done this too. We're on the same page. That's not, when I share things like that, my point is not to make a sale. My point is to connect with human beings. And the more you can connect with humans, the more your business will grow. Because when you're doing the vital behaviors, so you're connecting with these humans, but then in between all of these storytelling and connecting, you're also sharing your story, you're sharing your results, you're doing your calls to action, you're inviting people behind the scenes, you're doing more connecting, you're sharing your story. It's these connecting and sharing your story and those things that lead to the people being like, oh, hey, I like you. Like we're buds on social media, and now tell me about what you're doing, because now I also feel like crap and I see that you help women. What is this? Do you guys kind of get what I'm saying? Like, while what we do is very simple, there's obviously like some meat behind it, right? There's some thought work and stuff that needs to go into each of our businesses because we're all so unique. That is why we can continue to help hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people every single month, because the people that relate to me don't relate to Erin, don't relate to Amanda, don't relate to Sarah, but the people that relate to Erin don't relate, you know what I mean? And they need your story. They need your connections. They need your trials. They need your passions. They need your interests, because that's how you find your people. So part of your homework after you get off the call, do not do anything until you make a list of like 5 things that you can just be more mindful of. And I'm not saying like every post has to be about these 5 things. Just be mindful of things that kind of set you apart, of things that you can probably go a little deeper, probably peel back some layers around. Just things that when women are reading your story or reading a post, they can go, me too, me too. Because the more that you can get women or dudes to go, me too, the more they trust you, the more eventually down the road, they will do business with you. We have this incredible gift to share, and I truly believe that everyone needs it in their life. It's just a matter of time before they see that they need it in their life, right? So then understanding that, and if you guys have watched any of my stories lately, I've tried a lot harder to share more of the community aspect, because I feel like we know how rad our community is, and we know how powerful these friendships are and what a blessing it is to be a part of this. But outsiders don't at all. They don't get it. And so I've tried way harder to just share more of the community aspect of it from afar. Like when Amanda tags me in her dance parties and then I'm like, hey, game on. Showing those things, that's such a simple way to just show people, okay, she's actually not doing this by herself, and she has these other really cool women that are dancing with her. Like, what is this? But then you have those people that are sitting behind their phones scrolling Instagram that are lonely, that have no real solid friends, that have no community. You know what I mean? And so if that's something you value, then you've got to make sure that you are being mindful about sharing those things within your stories on the daily. Because if that's a pain point for your target market, then that's something that's going to speak to them. So just being aware of, is it the community? Is it the accountability? If it's the accountability, make sure you're showing behind the scenes of the tracker app and your girls checking in and one-on-one messages of you guys cheering each other on. Like, be mindful of the things that your girls need and how you can share that consistently, time after time after time. Okay. Okay. So that's kind of the meat. I don't want to give you too much to do because I want you guys to get really clear on those things that I asked you. But I want to ask a few of you, because I think this might be eye-opening, or maybe it won't. Maybe it'll flop. But I want to ask a few of you guys. Actually, I'm just going to call you out. Hold on. Let me see who's on here. All right. Look at all of you guys looking so cute. What's up, girls? Okay. Samantha, can you unmute yourself? I unmuted you. Now you unmuted yourself. Oh, God.
Okay, I got it.
Here we go. All right. So I'm going to ask you something.
Okay.
And I'm going to put you on the spot. So Samantha was a coach prior for how long?
Year and a half.
Year and a half. So she's in her waiting 6 months period, and she'll get signed back up in October. I want to ask you, why did you choose me to sign back up with?
Okay. Honestly, it was because I loved looking at your post and how real you were. I loved your family aspect. I love how you brought in your faith. You weren't afraid to talk about things. You were very real. It wasn't picture perfect. Like, I was following all these picture perfect coaches, and I thought, no, like that's not who I am. We live on a farm. That was another thing. Just an Idaho girl too. So it felt good. I felt like, yeah, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have like the perfect filters and all that stupid stuff. You just have to share who you really are, and you'll find your tribe eventually.
I love it. Okay. So a couple things. Thanks for being brave. You're awesome.
Sure. I'm like a little hot father now.
I'm sorry. I know that was cruel.
It's because I'm pregnant. It's okay.
Yeah, she's like due any day, so that's exciting. Okay, couple things. I'm gonna mute you. Okay, you did it. Couple things, and I'm gonna ask a couple other people because I just think it's eye-opening. I had a chat with one of my other new coaches, and so I always just think it's so interesting, the thought process that goes into why people choose us. So, a couple things you heard. I'm not perfect. I'm a normal human. I talk about faith, family, our ranch life. And so those are just all pieces of who I am, right? It's not going to be like, it's not going to attract everyone. Some people are really going to be drawn to like Angie Bellamar, who when you go to her page, you're like, she lives a fairy tale life. Holy crap. You know what I mean? Like we are like polar opposites, but certain people are drawn to that. So I want you guys to release the pressure that so many of you put on yourself, that you have to look a certain way, be a certain way, share a certain way, talk a certain way. You know what I mean? Like there's no rules. There are no rules to how we do our job, to how we share our life, to how we share who we are. And I think that's just such a, it should be a weight off your shoulders. Like, who cares? And you know what? They have started taking away likes on Instagram in certain countries, and I've heard that it's going to keep rolling out. I think that will be amazing. I think it will be amazing for no one to have to care or worry or see how many people liked your post, because who cares? But if you think about just really sharing who you are, sharing what you're about, sharing what you have to offer people, and with courage and so bold and with so much confidence that you are just, that you can just put it out there. Like I feel like it just is such a huge roadblock. This, okay, well, is this going to get a lot of engagement? Is it going to get a lot of likes? Is it going to get, like, who cares? Just talk to your people, share your voice, share who you are, share what you believe in, and you're going to rub people the wrong way, and that is a-okay. You want to rub your not your tribe the wrong way so that you can rub your tribe, this is sounds really naughty, the right way. Okay, so unnautify that, but you know what I mean? Like you want to really hit hard with your tribe, and the other people, you want them to go, holy crap, that's not my girl, I'm gonna go find someone else. That's great. Let them go find someone else. Don't feel like you have to please everyone or be everyone's cup of tea. You don't at all. Okay. I was talking to one of my other new coaches. I don't know if she's on. I was talking to Elise. She moved. She was from not from Rexburg. They were here going to school, and she filled out her application. I had never talked to her before about anything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're in Rexburg. Like, what the heck? She's like, yeah, we're actually moving next week. And I'm like, what? So I hurried and made sure that like we met up so I could chat with her. So I also asked her like, okay, tell me like how you found me, how it got started. She's like, well, I was always super interested because you shared like stuff about your family and I saw blah, blah, blah. And then I was already doing Insanity, so I was already familiar with Beachbody. And I reached out to my sister and I go, do you know who this girl is? Because she realized that her sister had also followed me. Do you know who this girl is? And she's like, oh yeah, I've followed her for years. She's great. She's so inspirational. Da, da, da. And she's like, would you ever coach? She says this to her sister, and she's like, I've thought about it, but I just don't know if I could do it. And da, da, da. And Elise is like, well, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to. So she like goes through my coach sneak, like she goes through the info page. She fills out the application. She's like all fired up about it, signs up, and her sister signs up right away with her. And so now they're doing it together. But I'm like, okay, well, clearly I missed the boat because she was following me and I never reached out to her and touched base and like had that opportunity to talk to her and to empower her to like do this. But we have so many people, you guys, that just sit and watch and watch and watch and watch. And then we are afraid to reach out to people. Why? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of, you guys? Like, if you can blast through that fear, dude, game over. Like, the sky is the limit with the lives you can impact and what you can make of this. And I think a lot changed for me. And I shared this with you guys on like 3 other calls. When I created my no response, where I gave them the free workout and it ended like in a positive way, that was such a simple thing that I implemented into my business that completely shifted my energy around inviting and responding. So I was totally that person where I don't send my invites anymore. My assistant sends the invites, but I would see the responses coming in. And when I would see no responses, it was immediate energy, blah, like, and now I feel like 100 pounds heavier and I have to actually go open up all of these no responses and see what crap they have to say about why they're not doing it or what excuse they have or why they hate Beachbody or what blah, blah, blah. And it was always a negative thing. Well, as soon as I created my no response to be like, no prob, girl, if you ever want to jump in the future, I'd totally love to work with you. In the meantime, here's a quick free 30-minute sweat sesh you can do in between busy life. Link to the Vimeo MM100 sample workout and send. And I felt really good about that because I was like, I'm helping a girl out. Like, I don't care if she hates Beachbody. Maybe she'll try this someday. Like, she has something free. I would want a free 30-minute rad workout. And almost every single time I send that, I not only get like a heart, but I usually also get a response back that's like, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Thank you. And guess what? That completely shifts our relationship from she just wanted to sell me crap and I said no, and now she doesn't care anymore. She didn't respond. She just wrote me off and is on to the next girl. To she just gave me something valuable. I'm having happy feelings about this relationship, and maybe someday I'll try it, maybe not. But you just ended it in a better way and the door is still open, right? Versus a very hard no, shut door, never talk to them again. So that's just such a simple little thing that I implemented that completely changed. I'll go send all the invites because now I have a rad yes response and I have a rad no response. So there's nothing that can hold me back from talking to all of the people and feeling really excited about it, right? So if you have things in your business that you don't like, you've got to figure out how to like them. Otherwise, if you have that negative energy around it, you're going to avoid it. You're not going to do it. You're going to hate it. You're going to feel frustrated. You're going to have all of these negative things going on. And no wonder you put it off. And no wonder you do all of the things except for the actual things that grow your business, right? So if there's anything that I can ever do to help you guys like get through these little funks, let me know, because these little breakthroughs are like when magic happens. When you guys can just kind of break through these little barriers in your business, and it's all personal. They're not the same for any of us. They're all little bits of personal barriers. That's where the magic happens for you, right? So while I can get on and I can come onto our PS Live and give you guys all of my knowledge and everything I'm doing and everything that's working for me and everything I know, if it doesn't help you break through that one barrier that's holding you back, then it doesn't even matter what you're hearing, because nothing else is relevant until you break through your next wall. Okay? So that is one thing that I want you guys to always be super open with me. When we're chatting one-on-one or even in the threads, and I say, guys, what do you need? What are you struggling with? How can I help? Tell me so that I can actually try and help you, because it's the littlest things that will make the biggest difference. Okay? All right, let me go through. Did I miss it? If you posted something super important and not just like chatty, I love when you guys chat. I'm not like saying that's bad. I'm just saying, like, if there is something super important in here that I need to answer, then repost it. Yes, totally. It is exhausting trying to please everyone. It's really super freeing when you can just say what you want to who you want and how you want. Like, just share what's on your heart. But obviously be mindful of it, right? Like be mindful of the important things you want to share about, and then talk however you want to talk to who you want to talk to. Okay. Sam, I'm confused. No response on social media or no response on a Google Doc? Which part? I can't remember. Oh, no response on my invite. So when I invite them, hey girl, I've loved connecting with you. I just wanted to I don't remember what my invite is. I just wanted to pop in and see if you wanted to get some info about this new program we're doing. I'd love to work with you inside my group. If they say no, then I'm like, no problem, girl. Here's a free workout, blah, 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 you know? So that's how it goes. So I have the entire thing saved. And this is what I shared in the message threads the other day. You guys, if you don't do this, you have to. It will change your life. You have to have your entire flow from start to finish created, saved, ready to copy paste. Okay? Your invite, your yes response, your no response, your response to their application, your follow-up response, your response to getting them started once they message you and tell you they signed up. And while all of them aren't going to be cookie cutter 100% the same, 98% of the message is always the same. And then you just tweak a couple words and a one-liner that like fits right into the flow of the conversation, right? So this is what I save in my Ditto app. You guys, it will change your world if you are not doing this. Like, I'm serious. It takes all of the emotion and the stress and the anxiety out of it. And you just, and all I do whenever I'm creating something new, like when I'm inviting to MM100, obviously my invites change, my responses change, my follow-ups change. Everything changes when you're doing something new. So every single time I start something new, I simply do it for one human and then save everything I'm doing. I do my invite, save it. I do my response to their yes, save it. I do my response to their no. Well, that would be the same for anything regardless. I do my response to their application. And if I have one that has like the the MM100 base pack, I'll have that response. And then I'll have like an MM100 with 2B, I'll save that response. Like I seriously make my life as easy as possible all of the time because I don't want to do hard things. Like I want this to be as easy as possible. And there are so many ways to simplify the situation. Okay. So if you're not doing that, highly, 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 highly recommend doing that. Okay. Yes. I struggle with knowing what I don't know and what to ask help for. That's solid, Lauren. But I guess, I think mainly like, it's usually pretty apparent like what you're struggling with in your specific business, right? Like I'm running out of people. I'm like, there's always something where you feel like stuck or something like that. That's what I want you guys to be very open with me about, because then I can kind of walk you through some things, give you some ideas, and kind of take some action towards it. So just always be open about those things. Like I'm in a funk. I feel like, I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean? But just always be real with me about your stuff. When they say yes to me, is that when you give them your form? Okay. So I have my, I work with Sarah Try. So I have like a sales page that has like the info about MM100, really brief info. Like maybe, I don't even know what's on it actually. But basically, it's just to get them on my email list. So I send them to that page within the yes response. I'm like, sweet, I'm super pumped to get you info. Go here, check it out. If it looks like something you want to do, fill out the form and we'll figure out your game plan. So essentially, they go there, put in their email, and when they put in their email, get access to my pre-order form, which has the information, right? You guys have seen the pre-order form. It has the information, has the video, and then they fill out the application. So that's my flow, is right then it's a one-stop shop. If you have the pre-order form, you could totally enter it in that yes response because it has enough of the information at the top, has the video, tells them about it. But if you don't, like in the flow that I shared with you guys in the thread, I was referring you, if I didn't have that, I would use the Let's Melt group, 100%, the IG group. So I in the flow that I sent you guys, I was making it so that anyone could do it without like having that form ready right that second. And that's what I would do. Yeah, girl, let's have you, like, we have this info page, check it out. There's like 9 posts or something. So they can bust through it super quick. All the info's there. They have the pack options there. They have Shakeology, Performance Line, nutrition plans. Like they have everything they need in that info page. So that's what I would utilize 100% if I didn't have the form that I was doing. And then at that point, you would have to make sure you're like a boss tracking who you're sending there and making sure you're following up. Because at that point, it's just a matter of checking in and be like, hey girl, you ready to go? What did you think? Let's talk about it, blah, 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 you know? But yeah, if you have the pre-order form, absolutely. In the yes response, sweet. Go here, has all the information, check it out. If it looks like something you want to do, fill it out, and we'll touch base and figure out the best game plan type of thing. So that's my flow. And then I just have a follow-up. If they don't come through my inbox and fill out the form, then I just check in a couple days later or whatever, and just my follow-ups are always super basic. Just checking in, girlfriend, want to see if this is something you want to do. I didn't see your form come through, and I didn't want to miss it if you'd already filled it out or something like that. So yeah, that's what that looks like. I want you guys to, those of you that said you have your 5, I want you guys to post them in the chat, because I think this will be good for other people to kind of get some ideas of things that are specific to you that you guys can start posting about. Having a good combo flow completely changed my productivity and takes so much stress out of it. Janae, for real. Me too. Love it. Loving to learn, anxiety, infertility, miscarriage. You guys, those are like major. I love them. Raising a medically complex child. I love little Rafi. He's the best. ADHD kiddos. Yes, that one's huge. Emotional eating. Yes. Hello. Like 98% of people will relate to that. Loving fitness, infertility, aging parents, Alzheimer's. Yeah. Almost failed marriage. Yes. Real authentic friendships, getting fit over 50, teenage kids, mental health advocacy, suicide awareness, sexual assault, fat kid, postpartum and struggling, not a Pinterest mom. Nailed it or failed it. I love it. Dancing. You guys, these are so good. Childhood anxiety, ADD kids, hormonal imbalance over 40, healing breast implant illness with nutrition, overweight teen, acne journey, newlywed life, yes, anxiety, dancer, sugarholic, severe endometriosis. You guys, these are fabulous. Like this is exactly what I'm talking about. We have this is making me emotional. I'm so dumb. This is so cool to see, because we have so much to bring to the table, you guys. And I think a lot of times we underestimate and we downplay our story. We downplay what we've been through or what we know. And you guys, there are so many women out there that need exactly what you have to share. They need exactly what you have to share. And I feel like this platform is such a gift in so many ways, because it just allows, like, who would I talk to out in Rexburg, America, in the middle of nowhere if I didn't have this social media platform? Like, hello, I see my kids and I see cows every day. Like, I wouldn't even be able to help anyone because I don't like humans in real life because they scare me. But on social media, man, I can connect with people in so many ways. And I just feel like we don't take advantage of the gift that we have. And we have so many things to share. Faith in the midst of trials, struggled marriage, learning to love myself again. You guys, I love you guys. Okay, love it. So this is the real deal. So now, I hope you guys know how proud it makes me when I'm like when I see all of your guys' posts in my feed, and I'll like go stalk your stories every now and then, like I see your guys' posts, and most of the time, sometimes I'm like, oh, I should have a little chat with her about this one. But most of the time, I'm like, dude, I would sign up with her in a second. Like, she has grown so much. Like, I just get so proud when I see your guys' stuff in my feed. And I'm like, yeah, that's my girl. Like, yeah, you go, girl. Like, I get so excited. Oh, I just love it. So now I'm super excited to see all of these things coming through, because this is when you peel back the layers and people will reach out. And our job as coaches is to just connect with humans, because when we connect with humans, then they see how this is blessing our life and they see the need for it. Our job as coaches is to connect, put solutions in other people's hands that will help impact them. So we have all of these solutions, and we just need to always have enough people to get in the hands of, right? And so that's what we are doing on social media. We're not trying to sell our challenge group every single day. We're not trying to sell our coaching team every single day, whatever. We just need to connect with humans. So when you show up with a purpose, it's not purpose to sell something. It's a purpose to connect and engage with your tribe, your women, that over time, as you also continue to do the coaching vitals and invite and share about your challenge group and share about your journey and share the bad A results you're getting and the confidence that's coming through in your voice and the light that starts to shine in your eyes, as you're sharing that in the midst of connecting, that is when people will join you. Okay. So sometimes I feel stuck as a mentor when I'm talking with some of you and you're like, I'm doing all the things. I'm doing all the things and nothing is happening. All of the things is hard to know what exactly you're doing. So this is one thing that is very real and it's very tangible and is very powerful that we can all improve upon. I know I don't open up nearly enough. I don't share my story nearly enough. I don't get real and nearly enough. So that's probably why I'm talking about this, because it's exactly what I needed I need to be focusing on this. And I'm like, okay, well, if I need to be, then probably a handful of my girls also need to be focusing on this. And so we can learn and figure all this out together for real. But this is something that you can walk away from the call and you can get so clear on. And this is also why I wanted you guys to do that Instagram workbook thing that I don't even know what it's called. The thing that I posted in the training, it's a red PDF, and it has you find your 3 core beliefs and your, like, the pain points or the 3 needs of your audience, of your target market. If you guys can get super clear on your messaging, on what your people need, on what you believe in, and you can always marry those things, you'll always have content to post. You'll always have things to share, because you won't ever stop being passionate about your 3 core beliefs, because that's just a part of who you are, right? So then you just figure out how to weave those in to also what your people are needing and what they're struggling with, and help them see that you have a solution for what they need. Yeah. Okay. Any questions about this, you guys? I went over my 40-minute mark or whatever I was going to try and do. I'm trying to scroll through these super quick. Okay, Janae, I struggle with finding balance in sharing the deep stuff without oversharing and as exposing too much. Like, I want to be vulnerable and relatable, but also, I mean, I don't want to say too much. Yeah, it totally makes sense. I think storytelling as it is an art. It is a skill that you'll get better at and you'll hone your craft. You guys, if you guys don't see Janae, if you guys don't see, dude, what is her? Jalen. I just had a brain fart. If you don't see her post, go to her page every now and then and read how she drafts her posts. Like, she is such a good storyteller, and I'm not like that at all. So I have to really try hard. She can like be posting about, she posts about a cupcake, and it's like this long, amazing story. And I'm like, okay, now I want to go eat that cupcake because of how she tells the story. She's just so good at it. So it really is an art. So the more you kind of play with it and the more you practice, the better you'll get. So I would just share what your that's a bad way to say it. Obviously, don't overshare to the extent that you're like, this makes me really uncomfortable to share this much, but share enough that you're like vulnerable and opening up. And so you don't, comfortable is bad because you don't want to stay like in your little comfort bubble, you know. You want to share enough without sharing. I don't know how to, does anyone have insight on that? Like, how do you, where's the line? Where's the line between like just not too much? Yeah, Danae?
So I feel like for me, like just in thinking about like tonight when you were kind of talking about, oh, this is something that I haven't shared very often, like about you and JD and things like that. Something that I haven't shared because I'm pregnant. I'm in my 3rd trimester now, like, and it's our rainbow baby, but I haven't like openly talked about the fact that a year ago I was pregnant before I miscarried. And so just for me, sometimes it's just kind of opening that dialogue with myself with like the thought of a year ago, like I had no idea that the baby that I was carrying was almost like had already probably stopped developing. And like that's what I write in my post. And so like for me, that's something I'm comfortable talking about, but just really going and diving into some of the thoughts that you had about the experience. And part of this comes from the life coach school stuff. Like if you dive into Jody Moore or the life coach school, like you'll learn more about your thoughts and your feelings. But if you can get behind the thought and not even necessarily the circumstance that was causing that thought, then it's easier to make a post and to tell a story.
I love it. And I've also learned that people, and Angie talks about this too, you don't want to be the hero in your story. You want your customer and your reader to be the hero. So you want them to relate and to see themselves, but then you want them to leave feeling empowered that they can also whatever. You know what I mean? So as you're sharing trials and things, you're not just like blurting the experience, but you're sharing bits of hope and bits of hope is a really good way to just think behind, okay, when I share this struggle or trial or whatever, is it like heavy, or is it giving someone hope that because I've been through this and I've overcome it, and I've learned from it, and I've whatever, is it giving them hope that if they're struggling with something similar, they too can be their own hero? You know what I mean? So just kind of some things to think about when you're in the brunt of posting. Yes. Amanda said, they are the hero and you are the guide. Love it. I share the hope, the reason I still have light in my eyes. Yes. Love it. Love it. Okay. Anything else, you guys? Also, this is also a really good, when you're listening to PD and things like that, lots of times I'll come to like the table, obviously with things that I want to hear personally or whatever, but also like what my target market, what their pain points are. And like I'm mindful about the things they struggle with. Like you'll see me talk about overcoming fear and whatever all the time. Dude, I don't really struggle with that stuff. I'm like, who the crap cares? I'll just go do whatever. But 99% of the people that I'm working with do struggle with that. So when I'm sharing my PD or sharing things that I'm listening for, I'm listening to learn how to better help others, right? So you're not, when you're listening to PD, you're not always just, what do I need right now? Well, this isn't speaking to me because I'm not struggling with this. We also have to get really good as coaches to listen for our people so that we have that to pass along. We have that knowledge to share. and whatever. So just some things, because the more that you can share that step in your stories that they connect with, obviously those are the people that are going to reach out and be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for that. I totally needed to hear it. And then you're like, oh girl, like, let's chat, you know? You guys are hilarious. Okay. Okay. Really quickly about the training. We've had a lot of super rad coaches come on recently, and I want you guys to understand the importance of going through the training in its entirety ASAP. Okay. So if you're listening to the recording and you're not my personally sponsored coach, then it's in the main team page, unless your upline has a specific training. Main team page, you click units or learning, whatever it is, and you seriously start at the top, work your way through. If you're my PS coach, you go to our Micah's personally sponsored coaches Facebook page, click on learning or units, and then start at the top and work your way through. You guys, the questions that I get from new coaches, like, I'm like, it's in the training. It's in the training. Where are you at in the training? Is in the training. Just do yourself a favor, and when all of those overwhelming thoughts come in, push them back for a second, be like, I got nothing but time. I'm going to get through the training. I'm going to learn the things. I'm going to soak it up. I'm going to start to implement. And then that's why I wait until you get through the training to get on a one-on-one call with you, because when you're starting your journey, you have a million questions and they're all in the training. Okay. And then when you're done with the training, we can actually talk about very real things that are applicable to then what you need. You've been through the training, you have the context, you have the meat of what you need to know, and then we can create a game plan. We can overcome some of the things you're struggling with. We can talk specifically about implementing your power hour, really knowing how to do the vital behaviors, how to do the IPAs, the stuff that really matters, okay? So that's why the first training within the training is a GSR that we recorded. So you still get the getting started, jump start. You get all the things you need to know, the next steps, the things to focus on. But the training is that has all the answers, okay? So make sure that you're making it a priority. And don't feel like, well, I'm running out of time and life is passing and whatever. Dude, you have the rest of your life to figure this out, to implement it, to hit your goals, to change your life, to create all the things that you want with this. But I promise you're not going to do it if you never actually start strong, okay? So take the time to build that solid foundation, go through the training, understand the things, chat with the threads, ask me the questions, but make sure that you're making that a priority, because I promise you it gets so much easier once you're like, oh, okay, all this makes sense. Now you understand how this works. Okay, that's what she was talking about, right? So just don't let yourself get overwhelmed with all of the questions that you have right now. I know it's a lot at the beginning. I know. But you just have to be like, okay, I have everything in front of me. It's one step at a time, baby step, baby step, baby step. All right. Okay. I love it. All right, you guys, if there's nothing else, I will let you guys go hang out with your families. Guys, it's going to be an incredible month. Incredible month. So much is going on right now. So much to be pumped about. So many people who need us. School is starting. Summer is ending. Moms are going to get structure again. They're going to need a routine. You guys speak that language. If that's your audience, speak that language. Moms, are you ready for the kids to go back to school so that you can actually have 30 minutes to work out? Let's do this. You know, like, people have been putting it off for this long. So now is our time to like hit it hard. Reach out to those mamas that are ready to like create a schedule. Their kids are going back to school. Okay, mom, you create a schedule. Like, let's get you going. Let's get you set up. Let's get you on a game plan so that you can feel your best while they're getting back on their schedule. Okay, so let's not miss the boat on this because it's going to be huge. All right. If you need me, you know where to find me always. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. And we will see you. Oh, we're probably going to do an extra call next week because I think I'm going to try and get Angie to do it next week. So just keep your eye out for that. There will be an extra credit call for our team this month. So it's going to be sick. Okay. Love you guys. See ya. Bye.